What is up, everybody? It's your man, Navi, back with another video, and this time we are going down under. I'm talking about Sydney, Australia. We're talking about beautiful beaches, incredible food, friendly people. What more could you ask for? I'm going to give you the inside scoop on the top 10 places you absolutely have to hit up when you're in Sydney. From iconic landmarks to hidden gems, we're going to cover it all. Before we get this show on the road, make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on any of my crazy adventures. Alright, let's get this started. Alright, first up on our Sydney adventure, we're diving straight into the deep end at the Sea Life Aquarium. This place is one of the top attractions in the city, and for good reason. Look, if you're coming all the way to Australia, you gotta see what's going on beneath the surface of the ocean. The marine life here is unlike anything you'll find anywhere else. This place is absolutely mind-blowing. From the moment you step inside, you're transported to an underwater wonderland. I'm talking about over 700 species of aquatic life, guys. That's a lot of fish and other sea creatures to marvel at. You've got your vibrant fish, your majestic sharks, even those weird-looking jellyfish that just kind of float there. It's like a living, breathing art gallery. They've got this massive underwater tunnel that makes you feel like you're walking on the ocean floor, surrounded by sharks and rays. It's an experience you won't forget. It's insane. And don't even get me started on the dugongs. They're like the chillest creatures in the ocean. They just float around without a care in the world. Seriously, they just graze on seagrass all day. It's so relaxing to watch them. This place is an absolute must-see for anyone visiting Sydney. Whether you're a marine enthusiast or just looking for a fun day out, you won't be disappointed. It's educational, it's awe-inspiring, and it's just plain cool. Perfect for families, solo travelers, and everyone in between. Trust me on this one. You won't regret spending a few hours here soaking in all the underwater magic. Next up, we're heading over to the southern end of Bondi Beach to check out the one and only Bondi Icebergs Club. This iconic spot is a must-visit for anyone coming to Sydney. Now, this place is legendary. It's not just a pool, it's a piece of history. I'm talking about an international landmark since 1929, people. That's over 90 years of history. And get this, their pool is open all year round, yes, even in winter. But it's not just about the swimming, all right? There's so much more to do here. The view from this place is absolutely ridiculous. It's like something out of a postcard. You've got the sparkling blue ocean stretching out before you, the golden sand of Bondi Beach, and the waves crashing against the rocks. It's a sensory overload in the best way possible. It's the kind of view that makes you want to pull out your phone and take a million pictures. Trust me, you won't be able to stop. Whether you're a seasoned swimmer or you just want to soak in the views, Bondi Icebergs is an experience you won't forget. It's a place that stays with you. Grab a drink at the Icebergs dining room and bar, soak in the view, and just enjoy the moment. It's the perfect way to end your visit. Alright, let's switch gears for a second and head into the city center to check out the Queen Victoria Building, or QVB as the locals call it. Now, this place is a masterpiece. I'm talking about stunning architecture, intricate details, and a history that goes way back. We're talking about a building that was originally opened in 1898, but it's not just a pretty face, all right? Inside, you'll find a shopper's paradise. We're talking high-end boutiques, designer labels, and all sorts of unique finds. Even if you're not a big shopper, it's worth taking a stroll through the QVB just to admire the architecture and soak in the atmosphere. And while you're there, do yourself a favor and grab a cup of coffee at one of the many cafes. Next up, we're heading back to the coast to experience the iconic Bondi Beach, one of the most famous beaches in the world. Now, I know what you're thinking, Casey, another beach. But trust me, this is not just any beach. Bondi Beach is a unique blend of natural beauty and vibrant culture. This is Bondi Beach, the heart and soul of Sydney's beach culture. It's a place where the ocean meets the city in a spectacular way. We're talking about a place where you can feel the energy buzzing from the moment you step onto the sand. The atmosphere here is electric and contagious. You've got surfers catching waves, families building sandcastles, and kids laughing as they play in the surf. And backpackers soaking up the sun, enjoying the laid-back vibe that Bondi is famous for. It's a melting pot of cultures and good vibes, where people from all over the world come together to enjoy the beach life. If you're feeling adventurous, rent a surfboard and try your luck out on the waves. There are plenty of surf schools around to help you get started. Bondi is known for its consistent surf, so it's a great place to learn or to show off your skills. The waves here are perfect for both beginners and seasoned surfers. Or if you'd rather stay dry, grab a spot on the sand and work on your tan. The golden sands of Bondi are perfect for lounging and soaking up the sun, and when you're ready for a break from the beach, head over to Hall Street, just a short walk away, where you'll find a ton of cool cafes, pubs, and restaurants. It's the perfect spot to grab a bite to eat or enjoy a refreshing drink after a day in the sun. Alright, let's take a break from the beaches for a bit and head to Hyde Park, Australia's oldest and most famous park. This place is like an oasis in the middle of the city. I'm talking about lush green lawns, towering trees, and a sense of peace and tranquility that's hard to find in a bustling metropolis. Take a walk along the winding paths, find a bench under a shady tree and just breathe for a minute. You deserve it. And if you're feeling peckish, pack a picnic and enjoy it on the grass. One of my favorite things about Hyde Park is the Archibald Fountain. It's this beautiful, ornate fountain that's a popular spot for photos. Trust me, a visit to Hyde Park is good for the soul. Alright guys, we're hopping on a ferry and heading over to Manly Beach, another one of Sydney's world-famous beaches. Now, Manly is a bit different from Bondi. It's got a more laid-back bohemian vibe that I absolutely love. The ferry ride over is an experience in itself. You get stunning views of the Sydney Opera House, the Harbour Bridge, and the city skyline. It's the perfect way to see Sydney from a different perspective. Once you arrive in Manly, take a stroll down the Corso, the main pedestrian street. You'll find all sorts of cool shops, cafes, and restaurants. And of course, no trip to Manly is complete without a visit to the beach. Now, if you're looking for a place with a little bit of everything, look no further than Darling Harbour. This place has it all: top-notch shopping, world-class dining, and enough entertainment to keep you busy for days. We're talking about a waterfront playground packed with museums, theatres, and attractions. You can spend the afternoon at the Australian National Maritime Museum, catch a show at the Sydney Lyric Theatre, or take a spin on the Star of Sydney Ferris wheel. And when you're feeling hungry, Darling Harbour has got you covered. From casual cafes to fine dining restaurants, there's something for every taste and budget. One of my favourite things to do in Darling Harbour is to grab some takeaway and find a spot by the water to watch the sunset. It's the perfect way to end a day in Sydney. Alright, let's escape the hustle and bustle of the city for a bit and head to the Royal Botanic Gardens. This place is an absolute oasis in the middle of Sydney. I'm talking about over 30 hectares of lush greenery, vibrant flowers, and exotic plants from all over the world. Take a walk through the rainforest grotto, admire the beauty of the rose garden, or simply find a shady spot to relax and enjoy the peace and quiet. Keep an eye out for the flying foxes. These guys are huge bats, and they're everywhere in the gardens. One of my favorite things to do in the Royal Botanic Gardens is to pack a picnic and find a spot with a view of the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. It's the perfect way to spend a lazy afternoon. Alright guys, we're talking about one of the most iconic landmarks in the entire world, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, also known as the Coat Hanger. Now, you can't come to Sydney and not see this thing up close and personal, and I'm not just talking about snapping a few pics from afar. You gotta experience the bridge the right way, and that means climbing it. Yeah, you heard me right. You can actually climb to the top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. The views from the top are absolutely breathtaking. You've got the entire city spread out before you, the harbour glittering in the sunlight, and the Opera House looking like a giant, majestic seashell. And when you get to the top, you can finally say you conquered the Coat Hanger. Finally, we've reached the grand finale, the pièce de résistance, the one and only Sydney Opera House. This building is more than just an opera house, all right? It's a symbol of Australia, an architectural masterpiece, and a must-see for any visitor to Sydney. Look at this thing. It's like something out of a science fiction movie. Those soaring white sails, the way it seems to float on the water, It's no wonder this place is one of the most photographed buildings in the world. But the Opera House isn't just about looks, all right? It's also a world-class performing arts venue. We're talking about operas, ballets, symphonies, plays. Even if you're not into the performing arts, I highly recommend taking a tour of the Opera House. Trust me, a visit to the Sydney Opera House is an experience you won't forget. And that's a wrap from Sydney, everyone. We explored hidden gems, conquered iconic landmarks, and soaked in the unique vibes of this awesome city. From the beaches to the buildings, Sydney is a place that will stay with you long after you've said g'day. If you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of Sydney, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more travel madness. Until next time, keep exploring